Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome all to today's reading from Sri Caitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 17, verse 31 onwards. We shall begin our reading today. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripa tamham bande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Caitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. Verse number 31. Tridadapi sunechena taror iva sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. One who thinks himself lower than the grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, and who does not expect personal honor, yet is always prepared to give all respect to the others, can very easily always chant the holy name of the Lord. Purport: the grass is specifically mentioned in this verse because everyone tramples upon it, yet the grass never protests. This example indicates that a spiritual master or leader should not be proud of his position, always being humbler than an ordinary common man. He should go on preaching the cult of Caitanya Mahāprabhu by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Verse number 32. Urdhva bahu kari kaho shuna sarvaloka nama sutre ganthi parakanthe eshloka. Raising my hands, I declare, everyone please hear me. String this verse on the thread of the holy name and wear it on your neck for continuous remembrance. Purport: when chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the beginning, one may commit many offenses which are called Namabhas and Namaprad. In this stage, there is no possibility of achieving perfect love of Krishna by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Therefore, one must chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra according to the principles of above verse. Tridadapi sunechena taror eva sahishnuna. One should note in this connection that chanting involves the activities of the upper and lower lips as well as the tongue. All three must be engaged in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The words Hare Krishna should be very distinctly pronounced and heard. Sometimes one mechanically produces a hissing sound instead of chanting with the proper pronunciation with the help of the lips and tongue. Chanting is very simple, but one must practice it seriously. Therefore, the author of Sri Caitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, advises everyone to keep this verse always strung about his neck. Verse 33. Prabhu Agyay kara ai shloka acharana avashya paibe tabe Shri Krishna charana. One must strictly follow the principles given by Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu in this verse. If one simply follows in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya and the Goswamis, certainly he will achieve the ultimate goal of life, the lotus feet of Shri Krishna. Verse 34. Tabe Prabhu Shrivasare grihe nirantara ratre sankirtan kaila eka samvatsara. Eka samvatsara is 1 full year in Bengali. Translation: Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu regularly led congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the house of Srivas Thakur every night for 1 full year. Verse 35. Kapat diya kirtan kare parama aveshe pasandi hasite aisa na paya praveshe. This ecstatic chanting was performed with the doors closed so that the non-believers who came to make fun could not gain entrance. Purport: chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is open to everyone, but sometimes non-believers come to disturb the ceremony of chanting. It is indicated herein that under such circumstances the temple doors should be closed. Only bona fide chanters should be admitted, others should not. But when there is a large-scale congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we keep our temples open for everyone to join. And by the grace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this policy has given good results. Verse number 36. Kirtana shuni bahire tar jwali puri mare shivasere dukkha dite nana yukti kare. Thus the non-believers almost burned to ashes and died out of envy. To retaliate, they planned various ways to give trouble to Srivas Thakur. Verses 37 and 38. Ekadina Vipra Nama Gopala Chapala Pashandi Pradhana Se Durmukha Vachala, Bhavani Pujar Sab Samagri Lana, Ratre Shrivasere Dware Sthana Lepana. One night, while Kirtan was going on inside Srivas Thakur's house, a Brahman named Gopal Chapala, the chief of the non-believers, who was talkative and very rough in his speech, placed all the paraphernalia for the worshipping the goddess Durga outside Srivas Thakur's door. Purport: the Brahman Gopal Chapala wanted to defame Srivas Thakur by proving that he was a Shakta or a worshipper of Bhavani, the goddess Durga, but was externally posing as a Vaishnav. In Bengal, there is a perpetual competition between the devotees of goddess Kali and the devotees of Lord Krishna. Generally, Bengalis, especially those who are meat eaters and drunkards, are very much attached to worshipping the goddess Durga, Kali, Sitala, and Chandi. Such devotees, who are known as Shaktas or worshippers of the Shakti Avatattva, are always envious of Vaishnavas. Since Srivas Thakur was a well-known and respected Vaishnav in Navadvip, Gopal Chapala wanted to reduce his prestige by bringing him down to the platform of the Shaktas. Therefore, outside Srivas Thakur's door, he placed various paraphernalia for worshipping Bhavani, the wife of Lord Shiva, such as a red flower, a plantain leaf, a pot of wine, and reddish sandalwood paste. In the morning, when Srivas Thakur saw all this paraphernalia in front of his door, he called for the respectable gentlemen of the neighborhood and showed them that at night he was worshipping Bhavani. Very sorry, these gentlemen called for a sweeper to cleanse the place and purify it by sprinkling water and cow dung there. This incident concerning Gopal Chapala is not mentioned in the Caitanya Bhagavad. Verse 39. Kalar Pat Upare Thuila Oda Phula Haridra Sindur Ar Rakt Chandan Tandul. On the upper portion of a plantain leaf, he placed such paraphernalia for worship as Oda Phool, it's a particular type of flower, Haridra, which is turmeric, Sindur, which is vermilion, and the red sandalwood, and rice. Rice is Tandul. Verse 40. Madhya Bhanda Pase Dhari Nich Ghare Gela Pratha Kale Shrivas Taha Ta Tekhila. He placed a pot of wine beside all this, and in the morning when Srivas Thakur opened his door, he saw this paraphernalia. Verse 41. Bada Bada Lok Sabha Anila Bulaiya Sabare Kahe Srivas Hasiya Hasiya. Srivas Thakur called for all the respectable gentlemen of the neighborhood and smilingly addressed them as follows. Verse 42. Nitya Ratre Kari Ame Bhavani Pujana Amara Mahima Dekha Brahmana Sajjana. Gentlemen, every night I worship the goddess of Bhavani. Since the paraphernalia for the worship is present here, now all you respectable Brahmins and members of the higher castes can understand my position. Purport. According to the Vedic system, there are 4 castes: the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, and below them are the Panchamas, literally members of the 5th group, who are lower than the Shudras. The higher castes, the Brahmins, the Kshatriyas, and even the Vaishyas, were known as the Brahmana Sajjana. The Brahmins especially were known as Sajjana, or respectable gentlemen who guided the entire society. If there were disputes in the village, people would approach these respectable Brahmanas to settle them. Now it is very difficult to find such Brahmanas and Sajjans, and thus every village and town is so disrupted that there is no peace and happiness anywhere. To revive a fully cultured civilization, the scientific division of society into Brahman, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras must be introduced all over the world. Unless some people are trained as Brahmans, there cannot be peace in the human society. Verse 43. Taba Saba Shishta Lok Kare Hahakar Aiche Karma Heta Kaila Kon Durachar. Then all the assembled gentlemen exclaimed, "What is this? What is this? Who has performed such mischievous activities? who is that sinful man? Verse 44. Harike anya sab dura karaila jala gomaya diya se sthana lepaila. They call for a sweeper, which is Hari, who threw all the items of worship far away and cleansed the place by mopping it with mixture of water and cow dung. Purport. The men in Vedic society who engage in public sanitary activities like picking up stool and sweeping the street are called Hadis. Sometimes they're untouchable, especially when engaged in their profession, yet such Hadis who have the right to become devotees. This is established by Sri Bhagavad Gita 9.32, where the Lord declares, Mamahi partha vyapashritya ye api syuhya papah yoneyah striyo vaishyas tatha shudras te api yanti param gatim. O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, that is the merchants, and Shudras, that's the workers, can attain the supreme destination. There are many untouchables of the low caste in India, but according to Vaishnava principles, everyone is welcome to accept this Krishna consciousness movement on the spiritual platform of life and thus be freed from trouble. Neither equality nor fraternity is possible on the material platform. When Lord Caitanya declares Trinadapi Sunechena Taror Iva Sahishnana, he indicates that one must be above the material conception of life. When one thoroughly understands that he is not the material body but a spiritual soul, he is even humbler than a man of the lower caste, for he is spiritually elevated. Such humility in which one thinks himself lower than the grass is called Sunichitva, and being more tolerant than a tree is called Sahishnutva, that is the forbearance. Being situated by devotional service, not caring for the material conception of life, is called Amanitva, indifference to material aspect. Yet a devotee thus situated is called Manada, for he is prepared to give honor to others without hesitation. Mahatma Gandhi started the Harijana movement to purify the untouchables, but he was a failure because he thought that one could become a Harijana, a personal associate of the Lord, through some kind of material adjustment. That is not possible unless one fully realizes that he is not this body, but is a spiritual soul. There is no question of his becoming a Harijan. Those who do not follow in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his disciplic succession cannot distinguish between matter and spirit, and therefore all their ideas are but a mixed up or hodgepodge of problems. They are virtually lost in the bewildering network of Maya Devi. Verse 45. Tina dina rahi se Gopala Chapala Sarvange Haila Kushtha Vahe Rakta Dhara. After 3 days, leprosy attacked Gopal Chapala and blood oozed from sores all over his body. Verse 46. Sarvanga Bedila Kite Kate Nirantar Asahaya Vedana Dukhe Jwale Antara. Incessantly covered with the germs and insects biting him all over his body, Gopal Chapala felt unbearable pain. His entire body burned in distress. Verse 47. Ganga Ghate Vriksha Tale Rahe Ta Vasiya Ek Din Bale Kichu Prabhu Ke Dekhiya. Since leprosy is an infectious disease, Gopal Chapala left the village to sit down on the banks of the Ganges. Underneath a tree one day, however, he saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passing by and spoke to him as follows. Verse 48. Grama Sambandhe Ami Tomar Matula Bhagina Mui Kushta Vyadhite Hanachi Vyakula. My dear nephew, I am your maternal uncle in our village relationship. Please see how greatly this attack of leprosy has afflicted me. Verse 49. Lok Sabha Udharite Tomar Avatar Muni Bada Dukhi Mora Karha Udhar. As an incarnation of God, you are delivering so many fallen souls. I am also a greatly unhappy fallen soul. Kindly deliver me by your mercy. Purport. It appears that although Gopala Chapala was sinful, talkative, and insulting, he nevertheless had the qualification of simplicity. Thus he believed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who had come to deliver all fallen souls, and he appealed for his own deliverance. Seeking the mercy of the Lord, he did not know, however, that the deliverance of the fallen souls does not consist of curing their bodily disease, although it is also a fact that when a man is delivered from the material clutches of his material bodily diseases are automatically cured. Gopal Chapala simply wanted to be delivered from the bodily sufferings of leprosy, but Sri Chaitanya, although accepting his